What's up guys, welcome to today's episode of the Drift Games vlog. We are in Poland for the biggest drift event in the world, 50,000 people in the PG Narodowe. But before we get to that, there's some cool car culture stuff in Poland that we wanted to show you before we got there. And the first place we wanted to hit up was Max Racing. Now we've been looking at this place on Instagram for so long, and finally today we get to delve inside, talk to Marek and see some crazy cars. Let's get to it. So this is Max Racing. It is I'm not going to say a huge workshop, but it's a very famous one in Poland because they build some amazing cars, mostly kind of drift and track builds, and they've been notoriously building the kind of cleanest, slickest garage. And as you guys know, we are working towards building back up to our new HQ in the off season, so this is going to give us a lot of inspiration. But there's also a very special car in here that I want to check out, so I'm excited. So let's go inside. So, here's the boys. Maciej, how are you? Marek.
Hello.
So, I'll introduce these gentlemen. This is Marek, this is his, Max Racing is his company. And this is Maciej, who's the man who does all the commentary at the final round of Drift Masters in the PG Narodowe. But he also has very good English as well as good Polish. When he's commentating in Polish, I have no idea what he's saying, but he has good English too, and he's going to translate for Marek. So this is Max Racing, and to me, I think with the space that Marek had, what he was able to do to make it look so cool, I think is so inspirational. So I kind of want to get his idea behind why have such a clean workshop, such an organized workshop? Is that because he has OCD, or is it because he likes it to be visually nice for the cars as well?
So basically the idea is that most of the time Marek is working alone on his own, so it's easier for him to keep the place that much tidy. And another thing is that when building such high level cars, such specialized cars, it has to look like that, and it's just easier to work, so it is as it is.
So tell him that I have been to doctors' surgeries that are dirtier than his workshop.
He probably understood.
Yeah. So we've got the wall of Stroms, which we're a big fan of, because obviously we work with Strom wheels, and we'll get to a custom set in a minute. And I'm going to talk about every car in here bar the one that I really want to talk about. So I'm going to start with this S13. So this is a Pro S14, super clean build as well. So what's the top level specs on this car, and who drives it, and what's the power rating, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's the car driven by Maksymilian Miękoś in Drifting Mistrzostwa Polski, so in our national league, and it has like the usual setup from Marek. So you have a 2JZ engine, it's like 850 horsepower, then you have the Weissfab steering kit, front and rear, then the Bulldog rear differential, and all the top parts that you can have. It's like usual build by Marek.
Yeah.
We can just show no problem.
I think the guy that championed this kind of style, what was his name? He was from Ireland. Car very similar to this. Some guy from Ireland. He started this 2JZ Weissfab. This kind of was a very competitive package. But this is very conventional for what we see everywhere in the world. Yeah, what's not conventional is this. So this is probably the most insane Mini I've ever seen. And when I came to a drift workshop, I never expected to see. Man. So I've got to ask, why, who, what's the idea behind this? Because it looks like the most over-engineered Mini that looks terrifying to drive.
Okay, so the idea first of all was that Marek was always dreaming of having a Mini with the motorcycle engine, so he just decided to build it, and like his style, he always wants to do everything custom, so here it is as it is. And the thing is that the car is missing like a couple of weeks of work to be finished, but it's like that for 3 or 4 years because of every other stuff that he's doing. Most probably it will be able to drive next year, but yeah, it's like full custom everything. As you can see, basically.
Yeah, nothing left, nothing Mini about any of this. I've got to say, I love this. So what bike engine is this?
Kawasaki Ninja.
So Kawasaki Ninja engine in the very middle of the car, and then it has...
I'm gonna say on the inside, I think it's the coolest shifter. It's like a sequential, but it's not your conventional lever, it's on the side like a rally car. Look at that.
So that's the motorbike sequential, but you've extended it to make it, that's so cool. And what I love about it more, carbon roof, stancy wheels, but the fact that you can see everything through the back of the car. So this is like, I mean, everything is custom. They don't make anything, and they make nothing for this. You can't go on the internet and find any of these.
Everything
parts.
is like built from the scratch, obviously, as you can see. So yeah, there's nothing.
So this would be super light, like very light, like probably.
500 kilogramów, 550.
Approximately, it might be like 500, maybe 550 kilograms, because it hasn't been weighed yet. But yeah, it's going to be light as hell.
Well, this is very cool, but the reason the car that you built that I saw on the internet, that I was like, I'm the biggest PS13, as we call them in Ireland, or S13 fan, and I think since I was probably 15 I've been seeing builds of S13s, and I thought in 2024 we had got to a point where we would never see anything new with an S13, and then you managed to somehow build, I think, the most perfectly beautiful drift S13 I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. Is this. Because this is just incredible. This, if I'm not mistaken, is actually not a show car, it is a drift car. It works, it drifts, it competes, it does everything. Even though I think it's way too nice to do that. But it's all custom again. So this was an S13 that you guys built, but talk me through this body kit, because this is a one-of-one body kit. There's no other body kit in the world like this.
Like you said, the body kit is full custom one-of-one, because Marek wanted to have something extraordinary, something which you cannot buy straight on the internet, so he made all the molds by himself.
Everything is perfection. So power-wise, the car is 2JZ, right? So it runs, let's say, what sort of horsepower?
850, as far as I remember, good. Yeah.
But it's got to be super light, because you got carbon roof, so weight would be very low on this car, right?
So the full weight of a car without the driver, but with all the fluids, is approximately 1,080 kilograms.
That is a fast car. The thing that stands out to me on the outside, because I want to talk about the inside in a minute, is the box arches. So like, this is very unusual for a drift kit. Usually it's always a circular arch, or it's a wider arch, or a cut arch. What was the inspiration between sort of an angular style? Is this inspired by any other car, or just something you thought looked cool?
Okay, so when speaking about this car, we have to first go a bit to the past, because this one is the previous BMW, which was built by Marek. It's a fully custom E21. After building this car, Marek wanted to make something better, make once again something which is original, so that's why he decided to go for like this style. And a bit of an inspiration was the Toyota GR86 with the rocket bunny, so the body kit kind of resembles it. But the first thing is because of his old BMW that he wanted to make something better, which, as you can see, I think quite works.
Because I think like it's a bold move, but it works so well in the car. This car has a party piece though, and I'm going to get you guys to take off the bonnet of the car, because this is very cool how this all disassembles, right? Because you think it's going to go one way, but it doesn't go that way. So have a look at this. Also, you think you've seen engine bays that look cool? This looks cooler than any engine bay I've seen. I've seen pictures of it in a most unconventional way. You're thinking lots of chrome, lots of billet. Imagine going the other way and how good it looks. So the whole front comes off like a clamshell. Lights, grille, fenders, as you can see, the wings, leaving everything exposed, but the bumper stays on, which is very cool. And then what I love about this engine bay is the black. So it strangely, to me, looks like a supercar engine, because a supercar engine would be very minimal, certain pieces would be there, but what was the inspiration for going, like usually billet, chrome, silver. What was the inspiration for going like all black on the engine bay? Because I don't think I've seen many people do that.
So the basic idea was to make it all black, because it simply looks better. And sometimes when people are building cars and you got like lots of different colors, like for example you make, I don't know, the intake blue or whatever, it doesn't look that nice. And the whole idea was to build as clean setup as possible, basically. So as you can see, this car is looking more like of a car show than a regular drift car.
I love the contrast to the white, the black, the grey. It's very monochrome, very simple. One thing that's an interesting fact, because a lot of the stuff in this car and the fit finish, I'm sure you guys can see on the video, this was a bit that I remember someone telling me about the rear end of the car, that you think it's a regular old S13, but you actually shortened the back end of the car For what reason? Like, it's probably a couple of centimeters shorter. Like, it's notably shorter than a normal S13 would be. So why do that?
So, well, the idea was that Marek wasn't happy with the regular proportions of the rear end of the S13, so they tried to make it shorter in the Photoshop. So once they did a visualization, they thought it's looking better. So after they did it in real life, according to his opinion, it's looking as it should be when it's shorter. It's just more clean.
I think it looks more clean, and it's weird how now it makes, when I look at S13s, it looks weird that they're so long.
Yeah.
Because this actually looks more proportioned with the rear boot lid. But to do this, the work had to be, the fenders, the boot lid, everything had to be shortened with it, so that's super cool. You may notice that these cars also got 1-of-1 Strom wheels. They're almost like deep dish retro wheels, which looks really, really cool on this car. And I think they suit the motorsport retro look on it really well. And again, if you guys want to get your own Strom wheels custom made, get onto Strom wheels, because they can make any wheel you want. So we've done it on so many cars, and these I think fit this car perfect.
But I also advise you to look inside to see how it's going there, because yeah, it's also great. I think our whole team is publishing everything, so if you want to know how those cars are built from scratch, then yeah, just make sure to visit Max Racing on Instagram.
When you build drift cars long enough, you realize how this is just beautiful. Like the carbon inlay on this with like being matte carbon. This is too nice to drift. It's way too nice to drift. Sorry, sir, we're just doing a video over here if you don't mind. So, is he still in the shot, that lad, is he? Is that lad in the shot? Can't get rid of him, he just keeps following us around everywhere.
He's blurred out.
We blur him out, don't we? He's just, you can't get rid of him.
The door's just come off.
By the way,
well, hold on, what happened there? I just, the door just flew off.
the doors out because even the hinges.
I was here first.
Hello, James. James has been in the background for the last while. No, it's not that.
How cool is this?
This is such a cool. Do you know what? 4 very interesting cars in this garage, and I think your brother outside was saying he'd still take the Mini. You've built so many cars at this stage to know
the attention
to detail, the fit and finish, even the way every little bracket has been done. I almost think like I'd be terrified driving this car. There's so much nice pieces on it, and the quality, the fit and finish, but also nice to see something different.
Yeah.
Like, you know yourself, because we've been a long time in the game, and you think S13s, we've seen it all.
You're not going to see a second one of these.
And this workshop's super cool, and you're taking advantage because you need to get the old S14.9 ready for the stadium.
Yeah.
She's had a hard old year.
When you compare the two of these now,
it's like a before and after.
Round 1, round 6.
Yeah, pre-Drift Masters, Drift Masters. Because that one was built pretty much with the same attention to detail.
Yeah.
Except now, I always...
3 hard seasons.
Do you know what? I want to show something while James is here, right? This is something that you guys will never see. If you watch the live stream, and you'll hear Nache shouting and everything, from the distance, the cameras in Drift Masters, every car looks fantastic. Yeah. But I want you to have a little close...
Let's have it. What's going on here?
Are you making fun of my car?
What I'm saying is...
Firstly, I was here first.
Fair point. Yeah,
And
fair.
you're asking me what am I doing in the background.
I know.
And now you're making fun of my car.
Well, I'm not making fun of it, James. I'm just saying it's had a rough out day.
There's a bit of wear and tear there.
No, I'm just saying, you know, if you're at a Hertz rental car shop, they've definitely
they all
circling
have
a few
story.
bits. Like,
They all have a
they
story.
do. But what I'm saying is that every car, your car actually looks better than most in the paddock, because at the end of every season, which this weekend, even another round to go, they just take such a hammer.
They do.
And I think one thing that the reason I'm making the point is that people watching don't realize how much attention to detail, how much small, even a bubble in a sticker would annoy you at the start of the season.
And then you go to the first round and you crash, someone crashes into you, stuff happens, and you just have to, it is what it is.
And you're patching. For this, so a lot of people think it's just mechanical, but your car is always very well presented.
I can show you even today, because the door from the last round in Hungary, this was all complete rubber. So like we cut out a big square of blue here because the rubber was burnt into it, just rewrapped it blue, put a fresh sticker on, and that's it. But there's still little marks everywhere, and it's just this point of the year.
But like
the mark, that's Clint's fault. Thanks, Clint. Thanks, Clint.
Next year, this car will be brand new in March, looking perfect, and back in the cycle again. So I just want people to appreciate that it's not that drift cars are thrown together; they all start with such an amount of care and love. And then they just end up like this. If you want to compete at the top level,
you have to be willing to risk. And I even noticed this year, from when we started in Oman with this car and in FD with the Mustang, literally every single event there's contact. It's in practice, it's in the battles. Like, you can't win a battle now without there being some form of contact in the lead or the chase. It's getting
again,
wild.
Years ago, if someone was
and it's
close,
like bumps, you know, but it's just marks everywhere.
And then at the end of the year, you go, Like I remember looking at the pits after Poland last year, and it was like scrapyard.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, here's hundreds of thousands, millions of euro just in bits. And I was like, but from the cameras you don't always see it. You might see a bumper fall off, but you don't realise that that bumper is connected to a tail light, connected to a load of parts underneath, and everything costs money. So the level the sport is at now, I think it's interesting that all these cars are so loved in the way they're built, but it's also kind of a shame that they almost get destroyed as the year goes on. Well,
Sorry for disturbing you. I'll leave again.
We're totally distracted now. We're here. We should have stayed over with the clean car. So I want to say thank you to Marek, thank you to Maciej, thank you to James for taking some time to let us show us around the cars. We've got another few little bits that we want to show you in this video from Polish car culture, but yeah, this place definitely a huge inspiration for what we want to do with our new Drift Games HQ, because for such a limited space to make it look that cool, that functional, and I think just have that vibe, massive inspiration. So shout out to Marek on that one. Stancy Volvo. Alright, so we got wind. We heard on the grapevine there was a car meet going on just beside the stadium. If you look out your window to the right, Josh, there is the stadium where we will be doing Drift Masters this weekend. But we're going to go check out the Polish car scene because we know absolutely the K11 Micra.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh, there's going to be some hidden gems here that we are going to go for a little safari around. Okay, so this is very impromptu. We didn't even really plan on making this video today, but you're going to be along for the ride. We're at a very big car meet in Warsaw. We know nothing about what's going to be here, so me and Josh are just going to go look for some interesting stuff and you're along for the ride. We got Chevy C 1500, I think. Some lad, I think, with a shovel on the front of it. Targa Mark IV Supra. Bright pink Fiat Panda. AMG C4363.
You can't say we really stuck for variety here.
Ever see one of these? The Chevrolet something. Look at this.
I don't actually know what this is. That is an interesting wheel.
So
there.
yeah, because
you can play noughts and crosses on there.
Board, you can just play noughts and crosses on the wheel. The velour. It is a Chevrolet Cavalier, Josh. There's a bit of everything here.
There we go, Dave. We've hit gold. Mia, the corner.
MX-5s. Blah, blah. You know what it looks like? It looks like when you're in a Gran Turismo random selection screen and you're like, just random everything. It's very cool. A lot of variety. I didn't expect so much variety of American, Japanese and European cars. It's tidy. Look at this over here, little JD engines going on. Preza, GTO, RX-7. It's quite nice, that. MX-5s aren't the most masculine of cars. This lad's trying to prove a point here, Josh.
We've got both ends of the spectrum here because we've got a slammed one and one that looks like they can drive over you.
That's lovely. The man's been watching some Jimmy Oaks videos.
Well, that kind of breaks the rule that you were saying. You said single piece, that's split rims, but I think it very much goes. I love
it. It
that.
works. He's done well to get the split rims to work under the standard arches. So very nice Silvias. What is this? Let me know in the comments. It's a hatchback pop-up light with aero disc.
It's like a Honda Civic, but not Honda Civic.
It looks like I don't know what that is. It's like an Accord or Integra front on it. No idea. We're not into Hondas. You guys got to help us out. What is this?
So instead of going to the stereotypically
Japanese
nice cars, we're
I'm just attracted to cars. I don't know what it is. He's debadged it, which has made it much more like he's got a half roll cage. Is it a Renault?
It's a Skoda.
It's a Skoda.
It wouldn't be my first choice of convertibles now.
This is one of those cars where you're like, it's so ugly, it's cool.
I'm not sure
Like,
how
look-
the
no,
owner
no,
would
look-
feel
look-
about that. Oh, Dave. There it is.
It's very small.
It is very small. That is the machine. That is the machine I want.
Do you know when they didn't get all the licensing for the cars in Grand Theft Auto and they just kind of made up their own cars? It's a Mitsubishi. I'm going to say early GTO.
You know what? You know OCD people don't like the RX-7s with the bonnets off to the side. This is even worse.
They were like, oh no, why don't we just slam the bonnet really hard and see if it just pops up?
Don't.
much sad. I think our one was like in equally as good condition as this.
The exact same colour, two-tone.
Well, this one aesthetically was nicer. You couldn't make podcasts in it, so I think we had nailed it. And this is way too high. You want to take the suspension completely out of it, drop it on the ground. There she is. It's gone for half conventional headlights. And then he's got the special edition square headlights. Not sure about it, but I do quite like the square lights on them, so I'm not a hater of it. It's very nice. Just a Hulk Hogan spec Dodge Viper here beside it. What you gonna do, brother? So that's enough messing around. We're running out of time. We gotta get it set up for the biggest weekend of our lives. And we don't have far to go because, you know, that's where we're drifting this weekend. Which brings us to the reason we are here in Poland this weekend, and welcome to the largest stadium in the country and the biggest drift event in the world. 55,000 fans are going to fill this arena this weekend for the final of Drift Masters. And as you can see, building a goddamn track in the middle of a stadium where Taylor Swift was a couple of weeks ago. So this is still mind-blowing to me that this is even a thing. Long may it continue. We're super hyped. As always, I'll be on commentary this weekend with Ian. The rest of the boys will be running around, and we got Ryuse and Connor competing. And to them, to go from not even being a Drift Masters driver 6 months ago to be driving into 50,000 people, this is going to be the wildest weekend of content I think we've ever made. So we hope you enjoyed this little travel video. We got to see Max Racing, we got to see a bit of a car show, we got to see the stadium, but the weekend is just starting. Next episode, we're here in the PGA Narodowy. What is up, guys? We are back in the shed. As you can see, we are getting ready for the LZ World Tour, which is coming next week, and we have some good and I guess bad news as well. So you noticed in this video we were all building up for the big final in Poland, and we had Lucas, as always, filming our vlog from start to finish. It was an amazing weekend. Connor did really well. Ryuse qualified with a 90. The emotions were so high, and it was probably going to be our best vlog of the year. We went to the after party, left our equipment in our locked room in the stadium at the end of the event, and when we went back the next day, somebody had taken the hard drive that was basically holding all the footage to the event. Lucas put in 4 days of running around, getting every single angle, but unfortunately, we've tried everything. We went through security cameras, lost and found, even went through the bins on the Sunday, and this hard drive has just gone missing. So if anybody has taken it and you're watching this video, we would really appreciate it back. Nothing will be said. It might have been a mistake, but as it stands, we do not have the video content to make the vlog of the final round, which is absolutely heartbreaking for us and the team, but I guess it's been one of those years for Drift Games, right? So a lot of things have happened at that weekend, and one of them is that you'll have noticed that I put on Instagram that I'm not commentating anymore in Drift Masters from this point on, what's happening with the team, all that stuff. There's a huge amount to unpack, but on Thursday I'm going to do a sit down. I'm going to talk to you guys about all the plans, why I've made that decision, and what happened at the last round in Poland, the good, the bad, and everything going forward. So unfortunately, as it happens, we don't have that footage to show you, but we will try and pull something together for Thursday this week. I want to say a big thank you for all the support that everyone showed us over the weekend, from the merch shop to the team to everything, to the kind words to me about leaving my position, but we'll get to all that in the next video. And until then, yeah, if anyone has the hard drive, just let us know, because we're pretty upset about it. But look, it is what it is. We do what we do at Drift Games. We move forward. We try and make the best of every situation, and we're getting ready, as you can see, to get all of our cars ready for the LZ World Tour, which is next week, a massive event in Ireland. If you haven't got your tickets already, grab them now, because we are going to absolutely blow the place apart with the amazing cars, people, personalities. This is the biggest event in terms of scale and excitement and everything that we've ever done. So we want to see you there, and in the next video I'll talk more about that. I'll talk more about everything I've just mentioned, and we'll see you on the next one. But we're super tired after Poland, but the work never sleeps, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.